All right, Kevin back with you for another episode of the $1 Million Relationships Podcast. And today I'm here with Lee Hayes. Lee, welcome. So awesome to have you on the show today.
It is awesome to be here. I've been looking forward to this. I love your podcasts are energetic and great information and fun. And so I'm excited to be here.
Well, I'll tell you, boy, I have been looking forward to this too. You and I got to have a conversation already and get to know each other a little bit. In fact, I'll just give a shout out to the folks over at the podcast guests platform because that's how you and I met. And I've got a really, I mean, they've been helping me out for I don't know, probably a year and a half, 2 years now. And whenever I get an email from them, it's not when they send an email, it's kind of like Christmas time because I've had a really good experience with them in the past. I've met some really great podcast guests. So now when they send me an email with a recommendation, I'm like, I don't know what's going to be in there, but it's like probably going to be really good. And
It'll be
so
good stuff.
yeah, and it's like cool having that kind of a relationship with somebody. And of course, you and I, we already got to connect. And and Lee, I don't know what that was like for you, but for me, our first conversation, candidly, man, I just felt like you and I had known each other for years and stuff. I mean, we just like totally hit it off. And I'm like, yep, I am really looking forward to doing a podcast interview. And
Yeah, no,
so
same thing. It just fun talking. You're very candid when you talk. You're very open. So like this is going to be great.
yeah, this is going to be great. Well, we're going to dig in here. Well, I'm going to start with just a nice, simple, easy question to get us rolling, and then we'll dive deeper from there. And so,
All
I
right.
want to start with Lee. What do you do, and who do you serve?
I serve many masters, Kevin. So what I
Okay.
do is I do two things. The primary thing I do is I get speakers onto stages.
Okay.
So I serve, right, event planners, I serve event owners, I serve bureau agents, and I serve speakers because in my perfect world, I get the right person on the right stage so that magic happens and the event is great. Does that make sense? So I have customers sort of, I'm the middleman. I'm the one who's bringing people together
Yeah.
that will do well, right? So that's what I do 90% of the time. And
Okay.
then I also help bring emerging speakers up by teaching them the business of speaking. This is a tough business. I'm sure we'll talk about that. It's a tough business, and so many people go, "Oh, I want to do that. It's a quick buck." It's not a quick buck. It's a serious business. But I love to help speakers discover how to how to be speakers, how to get on stages, how to get paid, how to
Yeah.
get value out of it. So that's what I do.
Very cool. Very cool. So, what's your backstory? How did you get into this? When I was a kid, I wanted to be a fireman and I never did become a fireman. But at the same time, I would have never imagined or guessed that I'd be getting to do what I get to do today. And I would imagine there's some of that going on in your world too and stuff.
Yeah, well, you've opened the door now. So a quick shout out to all the first responders out there, all the firefighters out there. My
Yeah.
husband is a firefighter. My daughter is a firefighter, and
Oh,
she's kicking
wow.
butt. She is a firefighter paramedic field paramedic instructor. So she is
Well, I
killing it.
will just tell you right now in Washington State, on the other side of the mountains,
Mhm.
there's so many fires going on
Yeah.
right now. And yes, yeah,
And you can't appreciate what they do, and
yeah,
unless you know a firefighter, and they're like, "Oh, I've just worked, 48 hours straight," and it's craziness. But so thank you for opening that window.
you bet.
Um, but oh my goodness, now coming full circle. What was the original question? You got me off. Oh,
Oh,
my
what
backstory.
your
I,
backstory?
I
Yeah.
heard firefighter and I just went off on a tangent. So my backstory is unemployment, right? So I was a director of human resources for a large pharmaceutical company
Okay.
and worked for them for years and years. And one day you get the phone call on a Sunday, Kevin, that goes, "Hey, we need you to come in today for a meeting." I'm going, "It's Sunday." Like,
Wow.
what? So I go, "This does not sound good." And it sounds worse than me being fired. They could wait for Monday to fire me. Why Sunday? So I went in and they said, "You need to know We're closing the whole division. You get to start firing people tomorrow morning when you come into work. So I
Wow.
needed to know so I could start lining up all night long who I had to talk to, who was being fired, all the severance, all this stuff. So yeah, if you get a call, that's a tip for everybody. If you get a call on a Sunday at 3 p.m. going, we need you to come in now, and you're not open on Sundays, that's a bad sign.
That's not a good
So
sign.
not a good sign. So that's what I did for 2 years. I fired people for 2 years, and while keeping people who were still there motivated, right? That was the
Wow.
balance was everyone who's still working for the company has to be gung-ho and work until they're fired, and they all know it's coming. So as I got toward the end of that, I had nothing to do, like nothing. And so a speaker contacted me, Mike Michalowicz, author of Profit First, global
Oh,
speaker,
yeah.
and said, "Hey, I was with an agency exclusively. That ended. I need to get other agencies lined up." He goes, "You're doing nothing. Would you mind answering my phones for 12 weeks?" I
Wow.
go, "Sure." Like how awful I had nothing to do. So I go, "Sure, I'll answer your phones. I'll go." Like I knew a little bit about legal. I did a lot of contracting and things like that. I had
Okay.
worked on events before for my own company. Sure. And I figured 12 weeks, I'll be in my own corporate job again, and that'll be the end of it. And after 12 weeks, I did start a new corporate job. And I said, "Hey, Mike, I'll keep working for you." And I was working evenings, weekends, working on his speaking. And then he said, "Lee, I have another speaker for you and another speaker." And it
Wow.
snowballed. And now I've been, for the last 10 years, in and out of speakers, right? You work with someone, they're not quite a fit, you get somebody new in. So I
Okay.
now have fabulous speakers. I love my speakers. I know them well, worked with them up to a decade. And yeah, I love it. I love what I do,
Wow.
Kevin, but it was all because
Wow.
I got fired.
Yeah. Wow. What a story. What a story. And it's I'm all every single entrepreneur that I have interviewed for this podcast, I love hearing their stories.
Yeah, great
And
backstories.
yeah, that is a fantastic story. Well, so what inspires you? You talk about how you love your speakers. What
Yep.
inspires you most about the work that you get to do and the impact that you get to make, Lee?
You know, the thing about the speakers is they're really good at something. They're really smart, or they wouldn't be speakers. But it means in some aspect of business, because all my speakers are mainly entrepreneurial and business speakers,
Okay.
they're all subject matter experts at something. And because I know them and I get to hear what they do and I get to read their books, I feel like I get to benefit from all their brain power. I have a branding expert, a sales expert, a finance expert, and you get to learn all this from them as a side benefit of working with them. How great is that?
Yeah. Wow. Very cool. Very cool. So, what is some examples of a couple examples of results that you've helped clients get that you're just incredibly proud of?
Well, I'm a really great group I worked with was in Chicago. Carrie was the event planner's name, and this was a group that does imprinting. You know what I mean? Imprinting for promotional goods,
Okay.
and they needed a speaker. So I met with them. We went back and forth and back and forth, and finally, I placed a speaker with them. And they said one of the best speakers they've had was was so uplifting for their event. They got great feedback. So that's right. That's a huge benefit to me when they're
Yeah.
happy. But then
Yeah.
what happened was Carrie now calls me back and goes, "Lee, we just had a speaker who needs an agent, and he was so fantastic. I want to introduce you to him because that's going to help you." So you get these win-win
Yeah.
situations where
Yeah.
you're helping each other. And like, does it get better than that?
Yeah.
Where, I mean, how often have you basically sold something to a company and then they call you back and go, Kevin, we got something for you. We're going to help you now.
Yeah.
That's the business I'm in.
Yeah.
That I mean, I make a lot of money. My speakers make a lot of money, and the people are happy to spend it. They're happy with the speakers because they do a great job, and they're willing to bring it back. They're willing to, oh, let me help your speaker. Let me give them a testimonial. Let me introduce them to someone. Let me give you someone. It's a relationship business, and that's what makes it so great.
Yeah. Yeah. So you mentioned too that it's not just the speakers that you're serving. And in fact, I'm looking over your shoulder there, it would be over
Yep.
your left shoulder.
My
And I
left
see the
shoulder.
guy in yellow there. And I totally recognize that guy as the guy running the Savannah Bananas.
Yes, indeed.
And Jesse is his name.
Jesse
And
Cole. Yep.
yes. And so you don't just serve your speakers, you're also serving these event planners as well. And so you've got, event planners and all that. So you've got two sides of this
Yep.
that
Yep.
you've got two different groups of people that you're serving, and kind of just like being that hero to just be able to help them out and stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
And
and when it comes to Jesse Cole, you're right. People are so excited when I can help them get him
yeah.
because Jesse Cole, being right, the owner of the Savannah Bananas and 5 other teams, he's got a whole championship series now. He's been speaking for 10 years. I've been with him since the very beginning when
Oh,
he
wow.
had, yeah, when his team was still part of the Coastal League, right?
Okay.
It wasn't even this national sensation yet. It was still a
Yeah.
college league.
Yeah.
So I've been with him since then, and he's tough to get, right? I get calls every day. Can you get us Jesse? Can you get us Jesse? He can only speak 20 times a year. I mean, he's busy, right? He's got 160 games a year.
Yeah.
And so I really will work with them and tell them that. I'll go, look, here's the situation. He's hard to get. Let's set you up for success. Because some people go, we don't really care. We just want like a famous person. But if they really want him, like they're invested in Jesse, they love the Bananas, they love what he's doing, I will work very hard to find a situation that works for both of them. Because they might come at me and go, oh, all right, we'd really, our event is from Sunday to Tuesday. We really want him on Sunday. Ask him. And I'll go, no. You're setting yourself up for failure. They have games on Sunday.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about Monday? Would that work? Oh, I don't know. So we'll go back and forth until we figure out something that works.
Yeah.
Like I know might be successful. And then I'll go to him and go, all right, Jesse, we've lined it up. I think this is going to be successful. And then when he comes back with a yes, boom, I've just made their event for them. Unlike, and patting myself on the back there because I understand him so well and what can work, that I really work hard for these clients to make it work for them. If they just go to, a bureau who's never met Jesse,
That's right.
They'll go, oh, you want him on Sunday? Sure. We'll try to get him Sunday.
Yeah.
You're not getting him. You're not getting.
Yeah.
So they've just failed. I like to help events be successful.
Yeah. Yeah. You bring up such an important point, so like, so you mentioned, you've got your established speakers that you've already got, like with Jesse, 10-year track record of serving him and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you've also got the up and coming speakers that come to you and they think this like sounds really good and they want to get on stages. But yet there's this whole other world over here. It's who's running the stages? Who are the people that are hiring? It's the event planners that are hiring and looking for the people to bring the speakers to bring onto the stages and stuff.
Yeah.
And and everybody has, so the speakers have a problem in that, or the up and coming speakers have a problem in that, like they want to get, on stages. And yet the event planners, their problem is they need to find the right speakers for whatever event or what have you and stuff. And you being the one that's been in the middle for a decade now, you understand the problems on both sides of this and stuff.
Yep.
And you get to be that intermediary that, like, there might have been a time, maybe 10 years ago, it would have been a whole lot easier to get Jesse on a stage back then. But now with the success of, I mean, man, it's amazing what an experience, the Savannah Bananas have
Insane.
become. Just going to a game, it's an experience unlike any other that you will ever have when you get to go to that.
Mm-hmm.
And even the way that they promote. And so now, getting Jesse as a speaker is like a whole different ball game now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
It's the goose that laid the golden egg. You know what I mean? It's a
yeah,
phenomenal experience, but he can teach so much. He's one of the smartest, most ambitious, hardworking people I've ever met.
yeah.
One of
got
these
such a
one of
huge
these
heart.
geniuses. Hmm.
Such a huge heart. And
Because he
that's the thing.
loves what he does.
That's right. He does. He absolutely loves what he does. He loves the fans. Everything is for the fans.
Yep, exactly.
And he talks about that all the time. And the thing is that at the center of all of this, it is relationships.
Mhm.
That's the thing. And that's what you do is you are that connector. You are that conduit of trust between the speakers that you serve
Mhm.
and the event planners and the event hosts that you serve and stuff. You're
Mhm.
that middle, that connector and conduit of trust. And I get to be and hold that kind of a role too. And I love being that guy.
Yeah.
And
The person
so,
in the middle is such a great person to be.
yes,
I don't know
yes,
about you, but like my love language, one of my love is gifts.
yeah,
And for me, a gift is not necessarily an item. It's the excitement of something happening, right? So when I get a speaker on a stage and they're like, "Oh, I've always wanted to get on that stage," to me, that's a gift. That's my love language. It makes me
yeah,
happy.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, okay, so now we've set a little bit of context here, and people have a little bit of an idea of who you are and what you're all about, Lee. I want to switch gears just a little bit. I want to start talking about the relationship side of all this. I want to dig deeper into that. So, have you ever been introduced to a person or persons who completely changed the course of your life or your business, so much so that much of what you have today would not be possible if not for this person or persons? And I'm just really excited
Oh.
to hear your story and your experience around this topic of relationships.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So like all these names are coming up, but the first one, and he's not just changed my business and my life and but so many people's, and
Okay.
that would be Mike Michalowicz.
Okay.
Mike's an author. Mike was my first speaker. He's the one who came to me and said, "Hey, let's get this going." So first of all,
Yep.
he introduced me to the world of speaking. But what really changed everything for me or made me successful, and Simon Sinek agrees with me. Simon calls Mike. He said if there was a patron saint of entrepreneurs, Mike would be it. And
Oh,
it's because he simplifies entrepreneurial concepts. So me, I'm I've never been an entrepreneur before. I've been in corporate, right? I've always been in
okay.
corporate. And he wants to be a speaker, great. And then I started reading his books and learning. And he has a book, it's called Profit First, and very popular, right? Like 2 million
Yes.
copies sold.
Yes.
And but it lays out business or finance in a super simple way. And because of that, like day one, when I started my business, I started it as profit first. I put my first dollar in a profit account. Then I had my tax account and all this. I shouldn't say this out loud and knock on wood. I have never been been negative in my bank account, right?
Okay.
So even when times got tough, profit first prepared me for success and prepared me for lean times.
Mhm.
Even when we went through COVID and my business tanked, I was able to just eke by because I listened to this very simple formula of putting the money in envelopes, right? Not just pay all your expenses, but no, let's think about this. You're an expense too. If you don't eat, your business dies. Okay. So for me, that was a day one. Like it's not that I failed and then got turned around. Day one, I said, I don't want to fail.
Yeah.
How do I build a healthy business out of the gate?
Yeah.
So thank you, Mike Michalowicz, right? That he got me out of the gate, step by step, financially sound.
Yeah.
Huge,
Yeah.
right? Huge. And then the other thing he teaches, and he introduced me to Jesse Cole. Oh my gosh, that's another great thing he did. But also he teaches consumer behavior.
Okay.
How do people think? And he teaches in a very straightforward way. Like, Kevin, if I walked in the room and put my hand out, I'm willing to bet you'd put your hand out and we'd shake hands,
Sure.
right? You mirror what other people do.
Yep.
So he said, think about this all the time when you're going for the sale, right? You give, they'll give. If you take, they'll take. And so just those little things, again, just kept slowly setting me up for success. And then the other person, I'm going to give him huge credit for saying one sentence.
Okay.
And that is my former corporate boss, Josh Jabal, who is also like the deputy lieutenant of Connecticut or whatever. And now he's at Yale. He once said to me, never underestimate the power of a handshake. And because of that one line, I have put my fanny on planes and gone to customers' offices and met them, not knowing anything was going to come out of it. And something always came out of it. I mean, I remember this one time I was going to, I hope you don't mind if I tell this long-winded story.
Not at all.
I was, I was going to Atlanta to meet a speaker, right? I was just going there and I thought, oh, wait a minute. There's this bank in Atlanta that once wanted to hire a speaker for me and did not.
Okay.
But the guy seemed friendly. He seemed like a nice guy, right? So I call him or email him or something and said, hey, I'm coming to Atlanta. Can I pop in? And he goes, sure, stop by. We didn't have a time set. He just goes, sure, stop by. So I get there and I Uber over to the bank and I said, hey, I'm here to see Chris. And they went, who are you? So they call him and he goes, who are you? And I go, Chris, remember we had this email and he said I could stop in and here I am. Oh my gosh, Lee, that's right. I forgot. Come on in. He spent half an hour with me telling me all about their events. And I placed the keynotes for the two subsequent years next, that year and the next year.
Wow.
And it
Wow.
happened because I went there and said, hi, Chris.
Yeah.
Look, I'm real. I'm real. And I know in this world of AI, I'm sure you get this too, right? Every single day, people are going, Kevin, you should automate. You should automate everything, AI, everything, right? You don't need to do anything anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
AI has its place. It can definitely do tasks, right?
Yeah.
Rote tasks, but it doesn't care. It doesn't care about my clients. It doesn't care if they're successful or not. I care.
Yeah.
So I want to meet people.
Yeah. That's right. That's
So
right.
those are my biggest impactful moments in my business.
I love that. I love that. So what's an example of a situation where you personally, Lee, got to make this really substantial impact? And maybe even in the moment, maybe it even surprised you a little bit where you're like, wow, look at what just happened there. And yet you also know that would have never been possible if not for your relationship with either one of these gentlemen that you just mentioned. What's an example where you were empowered in that way?
Wow. I mean, I've been the force behind a series of events
Okay.
that have been very
Okay.
positive. There is RFCI is a flooring conglomerate. Like all the big flooring companies in the world are part of this. And Bill is my contact there, and he is fantastic. I adore him. He's such a wonderful person. And because of that relationship, I've been able to place a few people.
Okay.
But one of the people I placed was Kevin O'Connor. Kevin O'Connor is the host of This Old House. Show's
Okay.
been on TV for 45
Long
years or something.
time.
Long
Yeah.
time. He's been the host for more than half of that time. And because he does residential construction, they said, we'd love to have him keynote at our event about flooring.
Okay.
But now so now that's where I step out, right? But now I've created a relationship where Kevin got to meet Bill, and Bill introduced him to this guy who was, I don't remember what company it was, but they're manufacturers of flooring. And they said, hey, Kevin, we would love you to see our factory. And after he keynoted, and he goes, "Well, I'm so sorry, I've got to hop on a Delta flight back home." And they go, "We'll put you on a private jet. We'll fly you down to our factory. You'll get to see it." So he flies down. Now they make a deal, and now they're on this old house as part of the flooring as a segment, right? So I feel like none of that would have ever happened
That's right.
if
That's
I
right.
didn't have a great relationship with Bill,
Yes.
right? And again, I don't get anything out of that. I didn't get to go on the plane. I didn't get paid for the segment. But again, it's like this giant gift that I was able to unraft.
That's right.
I get the story. I love it. I
Yes.
love it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the funny part is, there's a little funny part. So Kevin does all this. He gets off and he goes, Lee, before that, I had never had my own private jet fly me someplace. And you know what? I'm a private jet guy. I've decided.
Right. Like I want more of that.
He's like, he goes, any event that offers a jet. He goes, the answer is yes.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Well, and like for you, Lee, man, how amazing does that feel that you just had a hand in allowing that to happen?
Yeah.
And that you were the catalyst for that happening.
Yeah.
That
Isn't
is
that
just
cool?
awesome. Yeah.
And it's not the big business deal. Like I'm sure people you ask this question, they go, "Oh, Kevin, I made $1 million." And I didn't make anything off of it, but
Yeah.
it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Feels really good. It
Yeah.
feels really good. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, for anybody who might be listening to this and maybe they're somebody who, well, maybe they're already doing some speaking and stuff, and now they're just hearing you and going, man, maybe I should have a conversation with Lee. Or maybe there's somebody who's been thinking about, I think of a friend of mine, and I know I told you about this when we spoke before. He's got a military background. He's been a fighter pilot for 22 years. He's got a really great a history of building teams and companies too, and he's an author, and he's wanting to get into speaking now and stuff. And so he's got all these assets, if you will.
Mhm.
He just and he's learning how to get into public speaking. And you know what? He's one of the very first guys I'm going to share this interview with, because afterwards he's probably going to be like, "Yeah, Kev, you're right." And I'm not even going to say his name, but he knows I'm talking about him. He's like, "You're right, Kev. I probably do want to talk with Lee and stuff. And there might be event planners that have heard this, and now they're thinking, "Oh man, I need to talk with Lee." Any websites, any resources we can share with folks, Lee?
Oh, please do. So, first off, yeah, for any speakers, right? Any emerging speakers. And when I say emerging speaker, this is somebody who, like you said, like your friend, they really want to do it. They have a great idea. They have some serious knowledge, but they also understand that it's not easy, right? They want to do it. It's like people say, "I want to write a book." Lee, I'm just going to write a book. No, no, no. Writing a book takes 3 years. It just does. A real book, a good book. Speaking, same thing. It takes years. So for people who are serious, they can find me at Path to the Main Stage,
Okay.
which is my own little podcast, but that podcast is super specific. It's all about speaking and speaking only.
Okay.
GoLeeward.com, GOLEEWARD.
Okay.
That is about my speakers and my company.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's the best way to reach me. And certainly for event planners or event owners or managers, goleeward.com. That's my little stable. I am not a bureau. I don't work with a zillion speakers. I work with my stable. But because I only work with my stable, it's very focused and I know them very well. And when I suggest somebody, it's because they're really a fit, not because it's somebody I've heard of.
Yeah.
So that's my little edge to event planners is please hop on there. And then my phone number's there, my email's there. I'm very direct and easy to reach. You don't have to fill out long forms if you don't want to. You can just, pop an email in.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Well, Lee, is there any last thing that you feel led to share before we call it a wrap?
Well, just thank you for what you're doing, Kevin. All
Yeah.
this information for entrepreneurs and for bringing me on because being a speaker can be a hustle. It can also be a side hustle. It can also be a way to improve yourself in corporate life, right? Public speaking is a very, very useful tool. So I'm excited to be part of it, and I appreciate you letting me share a little bit of that with you today.
Well, you are so welcome. You've been an absolutely amazing guest,
Thank
and
you.
I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you, and I'm excited to get this out there and share it with folks. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Hopefully, we'll talk again soon.
You bet.